I seen another superhero movie that I liked, and this time it is Disney. I saw Spider-Man: Homecoming. I watched like 20 minutes of it, and then didn't watch it for like 2.5 weeks, and then last night Ari and I finished it, and I liked that. I gave it like a 9 out of 10. I thought it was even better than Shazam. Um, and I hear that the one that's in the theater now, the Far From Home,
Mm-hmm.
that one's supposed to be really good as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of it. I do like the Spider-Man character from the yeah, he's in the last two Avengers that I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't seen any of the individual Spider-Man movies. Just
Yeah. I'm gonna hopefully go see the other one now. Kind of liked it a lot. Also, interesting bit of news that ties into one of your interests is that I hear rumors circulating that Tom Holland, I believe his name is, that plays Spider-Man,
mm-hmm.
is they are contemplating a Back to the Future reboot,
Oh Jesus.
and he is the front runner to play Marty McFly, which I could see.
I'm sure, yeah, but I just don't want a remake. No,
I only want a remake if it's going to be like present day, and then they're going to go back to the 80s. Like the same story, but it's going to be now to the 85 instead of 85 to 55.
maybe.
So it has its own identity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah. I mean, it's inevitable that they will probably remake it since
Oh,
they just remake
yeah.
everything. I know.
It's going to happen.
I know
don't
the
know when.
creator Bob Gale said as long as he's alive, there'll never be one. But money talks. So there,
Yeah.
who knows?
I know. But anyway, just thought that was interesting. I don't even know how much steam or how true that rumor really even is. But when I heard it, I thought to myself, all right, I can see Tom Holland as Marty McFly. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Has a look and kind of the feel for it. But then the big thing is like who plays Doc Brown? Like what
Yeah.
actor plays Doc Brown? Because that's a tricky one.
Mm-hmm.
All I could think of in my head was like I could almost see like somehow Bryan Cranston pulling it off because he's kind of got chops where he can kind of do a bunch of different things. But I'd still have to see it first before I could decide whether or not he could do it right.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a quirky role
Yeah.
and very iconic, of course.
Yeah. I wouldn't even.
I know.
I don't even know what to think. Who?
But anyway, enough of that. We got to get this podcast underway. What's up, everyone? Thanks for coming and watching the show once again, listening to the show. Today, very exciting news. We have surpassed the 200 subscription mark on YouTube, which was very exciting to me. When I started this channel back in March, I gave myself a 100 subscriber goal for the first year in existence, and in 4 months, roughly, we've doubled that. So I'd like to thank everybody for the support on listening, to these podcasts, watching the videos, the vlogs, liking and retweeting us on social media, and all that good stuff. I'd like to thank Chris and Dan and Johnny here and everyone that's kind of chipped in and helped out and all that stuff. And with that, we kind of come up with this, semi-announcement, and that is that we were actually going to start the whole cooking concept today, but after work being incredibly busy and reevaluating everything, I've decided that, and Johnny going to be gone for the next few weeks on his Disney trip, that we will kind of kick off almost a fall season, so to speak, where we'll introduce those shows, and I will start my video series again and things like that. So we'll wait till after Labor Day and we will kick those off. So we'll have those for you probably the first week after Labor Day. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll have a schedule up on the YouTube channel, and we'll keep you informed on the podcast and social media and Twitter and all those good things. So with that said, we are here to discuss today lines that we do not lines that we do not mind waiting in at Walt Disney World. What this kind of it means, I guess, is obviously like if the queue is cool, could be a reason, or any reason that Johnny and I can come up with. So we'll just kind of throw ideas around and see what makes a line an easier wait for us than not an easy wait. And maybe at the end we'll throw a quick line we don't like waiting in if we have time. So with that said, I'll start, and I will say, Johnny, that for me, and I think I brought this up to you before, I like the Frozen Ever After queue, not because I like the queue, because I like the proximity to Germany, where I can take a walk over, grab myself one of those delicious grapefruit beers, usually two. My wife will get one, I'll get one. And we jump in line. Maybe it's a 45-minute wait. We have a couple of beers between the two of us. It's air conditioned, and not much of a queue other than the Oakens Tokens area, I guess. It's kind of just bland. But if you got a beer in hand, I feel like, how could you beat it? You can also grab one of those Bavarian pretzels. I don't know if you've ever had one of those over there.
I haven't, but
absolutely delicious.
I've only ever fast passed that, but I mean, you do see the queue when you go to the fast pass. I like I don't mind waiting in those type of lines where you feel you're somewhere else. Like once you get inside, you feel like they have the the Arendelle thing, and it's something to look at. It's, I mean, like you said, if you have something, a beer or food or something to do, it's not. I mean, it's nothing special, but at least it's not just you walking back and forth and you're looking at nothing.
If the queue doesn't knock you off your feet, like I'm sure we'll bring some up later in the show that kind of have that going on for it. But it's just, I just kind of brought this up as almost like a wild card because I just like the idea. I love going to get that particular beer, first of all, and Epcot's right there. It's a little bit of a stroll, but not too much, to the Germany Pavilion. You grab one, we get back in line. We literally always do that when we have to wait for it. We do that. Or if it's a little hot, we'll say, let's just wait for it, and we'll grab a beer, and and the line moves rather smooth, and it's not and really anywhere in Disney, it's not really a tough wait.
No.
I guess maybe Astro Orbiter is maybe the only line I've ever waited in Disney where I feel like it's almost reminiscent of like an old amusement park or old carnival kind of line where it just seems like it takes forever to get to the front.
You wait and then you wait and then you got to take the elevator, and it's just I know what you mean.
And then you get up there, mind you, and I just did this the first time in my life, this last trip. You get up there, you got to wait one more time. I was like, geez, I thought what was going on once we got up the elevator.
Yeah, and then you stand there and you see the people movers just like right up and on.
I know, and then it's 45. What is it, like a 45 seconds to a minute ride?
Yeah.
I always wanted to do it. I'm glad we did this last time. I kind of kept pushing. It was the last ride we did on the trip. But that was not enjoyable. But anyway, so Frozen Ever After, definitely one of mine. And how can you go wrong, like I said, with the beer and a pretzel? You got something to kind of keep you occupied in line. And then you grab maybe some caramel popcorn over from Germany, too, if Varia wants a snack. So it always works out. So that's my first one on my list for that. What do you got?
All right. The first one that came to mind when you said this was Expedition Everest. Is probably my if you gotta wait in a queue, it's probably my favorite one. If the line's long enough, you get the beginning where you can ring the bells. I know the first time we went with my oldest son, he liked the idea of you get to ring the bells, and once you get inside, like I said with the other, it's just something to look at. Like there's all kinds of stuff to read. They start to give you that story of the Yeti with the disrupting the campsites and stuff, and it's kind of like that, like museum-y type feel where you get the artifacts and all the stuff to read, so it makes the time go by a lot quicker. And just the way the Imagineers did everything, you feel you're going through the their expedition business with, you know, it tells you the story. You get the point where you go where like the check-in and all that stuff. It's just something I like. I just like, you know, I'm fine with just going somewhere and just I just like walking around and just looking at things. So that's
Makes
like,
sense.
like I'm not a big gambler, but I've been to Las Vegas a couple times, and I'm just happy just walking up and down, looking around. So that's type. I'm not saying that's Las Vegas, but it's the type of thing where, you know, you just read, and no matter how many times I've gone on it, and then, you know, with little kids, and then you read stuff to them. Oh, what is that about? What's this about? So it's just kind of
Yeah.
keeps you busy and not think about standing in line.
I don't think I've ever done the ring. What do you ring? What is the part where you ring the bells?
It's like that part outside. There's like these. I don't even know. It's.
Like earlier in the queue?
Yeah, as soon
I
as
don't
you
think I've
walk,
ever-
you
yeah.
walk in, because usually the last couple times I've done it, that's you don't wait there. You're just kind of walking by, and I saw a couple other people doing it as they walked by. So we, you know, my son like, oh, I want to, you know, so you pick them up and ring it. I don't know if that's some type of thing they do before you climb, like out in the Himalayas. I'm not sure if that's part of like the tradition type thing.
Probably is.
So yeah, there's just a bunch of things hanging. So most of the time I've gone on it, you kind of just, I don't even think I've noticed it. I didn't notice it until this last time. You just kind of walk through unless the line's really long, you wouldn't notice it because you just kind of, you're looking to get inside.
Yeah.
So you just kind of pass by them.
I was going to say, I didn't even know that was a thing when you
Yeah.
said that, so I learned something today. Another one I was thinking of, and it goes back to my reoccurring snack theme, but it's kind of a crisscross because I like the queue in general. And for some reason, it always gets me. For whatever reason, I always feel like as soon as I walk through the front of Pirates of the Caribbean, I just feel like I'm just so like in that
Yes.
environment,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
right off
yeah.
the get-go.
Yep.
Like even when you're on like, you know, how you walk through and this like the outside part. Sometimes you might stand out there if it's a
Yep.
long wait.
Yeah.
You still feel it still has the feel. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it throws
a
you.
good feel.
It just throws you right in that,
yeah,
into it.
and I like that. And the line always because they're loading those big boats, so
Yeah.
the line like almost never stops, which always, no matter how long the wait is, always makes it feel better, I guess, right?
Mhm.
And then of course I can grab a Dole Whip right
Yep.
over near Aladdin's Magic Carpets over there. So I usually get myself a little vanilla pineapple twirl over there and eat that in line. I always find it's good to time a snack with the line. Like, why not? If you're gonna walk around the park and it's like, why not get
Yeah.
why not get a line,
Yeah.
right? And then like, it's funny because it's not themed out like to the nines. I would say
No.
that queue, but it's something about it.
Yeah.
It just
you
does the trick. I
just,
don't know.
You see the cannons or whatever. You see.
Yeah.
You just feel. Yeah. It just gives you that feeling of being
It's just
like in a dungeon.
yeah, it's subtle.
It's just got the little, little scene with the, the skeletons playing chess, and it's just something. Oh, you just look for it every time you go on
I
the
know,
ride.
and I stare at it like I haven't
Yeah.
seen it before.
Yeah, right.
I know. But I love that queue. And it's funny because, like, if you look at other queues, like Pandora, A Flight of Passage, which we'll probably talk about at some point, or like newer queues like that, they don't even compare. Like, there's so much more detail. And I'm sure, like, the ones we're going to see in Star Wars, for example, are going to be, like, ridiculous. But, I don't know. Something about Pirates that I like. I just tell, anytime anybody wants to go on that, I'm just like, yep, I'll get in line. As long as it's not, like, over 45 minutes.
Yeah. I could ride that 5-6 times in a day.
I don't know what it is about that, right?
Yeah. It's always just, even the rides, just you see something different every time. You just stare at, I'm gonna stare at this spot this time,
And I guess, like, maybe because we like the ride is what makes, like, we know it's at the end of the queue.
yeah,
so
you get that
helps
anticipation.
too.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else you got?
I'll go more the theme of looking at things when you tough to be a bug. You get you basically you're wrapping around the tree, so you get to see see the
Okay.
carvings up close and see all that the detail of that, and what the different animal. You play a little game with the kids. What animal is that? Find this animal, and then once you kind of get inside, they have. At least the last time I went, don't they have like the movie posters,
Oh, yeah,
the
they still
bug
have
movie
that,
poster
yeah. Like
things?
like the plays or the movies.
Yeah.
Everything.
So it's just a fun little thing to look at in there, but it's kind of, and that one, that's another one that kind of keeps moving because it just fills the theater, empties the theater, fill it right back up. So
it's almost like never a line, really.
Yeah.
Right? It's good if it rains too.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't do that the last time because the first time we went, my son was a little scared, so we
A little squeamish.
and he was yeah. Then my youngest one was the same age as he was, so we kind of just skipped that one. He wasn't a big fan of the spiders coming out of the ceiling.
I get it. It's funny. This is like a really funny topic actually, because like the more we talk about different things, I feel like your family is definitely like an Animal Kingdom family. You have a lot of things that you like in the Animal Kingdom. Like you brought up the safari, dinosaur, and I think these two. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just more than most people I talk to.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because when I think of what I like best at Disney, that one doesn't. Animal Kingdom doesn't pop out as the front runner, or even like I don't even really think about it. But then, there is a lot of enjoyment out of that. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a cool park. And since you don't like Rivers of Light.
I don't like Rivers of Light at all. No, I'll skip that.
You squeeze that in for the last
then, you throw Rivers of Light, and then I can go grab an extra shot on Everest because they're watching that, and the lines are shorter. So I guess I like Rivers of Light for that reason.
Yeah, and that is definitely true. People flock to that one, but I guess I don't like Rivers of Light either, really. And does it have to do with like the idea that it was like were you with like I was anticipating that show, like when they were like it's gonna come out, this is gonna be a good one, and I'm like
because they were saying we're finally having a nighttime show at Animal Kingdom. It's like maybe that it's finally happening, so they've had all this time to plan for it, but then
and it's new, so it should be good. I don't want to say that's not good, because like certain people like it's not done well. I guess.
No, it's just
it's not for me.
I think the Disney thing too is like what you would think. See the nighttime shows, you're looking, you're gonna get the projections and all that stuff, but then you get the fireworks too, and that one you don't get them there, so it's maybe a little disappointment.
That's a good point.
But I know all the
that
other
must be what it is too, right?
Because all the other ones have some sort of a firework type of thing, and that one just doesn't.
It feels like a cheaper version of Fantasmic.
Almost,
right?
yeah.
And whatever the actors are doing, like on the little like the Lotus floats or whatever those things are. Mm-hmm. Just doesn't engage me whatsoever. Like
no,
I don't know.
No, because you get the stained glass looking floats thing, but they're just floating around back. They don't change. They change color, but it's not like I don't know. It's not that.
Like my mom, my aunt really enjoyed it, and I feel like I told you we did it on After Hours, which was like making me fidgety to begin with. Mm-hmm. But I was like, it's really popular, so we'll sit for a minute and see what's going on. Ari and I mean, very rarely do I get like bored at any Disney attraction. I can usually at least get through it once. And 5 minutes in, I just keep looking over my shoulder, like Everest is over there. Like you said, I'm like, I'm just gonna go do that. And
I mean, I think everybody should see it, and then you judge for yourself. But I'm all set with it.
Like I said, my mom and my aunt thought that was like they loved every minute of that. Like my mom's like, that was a good show.
With my parents are going on this trip, and I told them you can miss it if you want, which I don't know if they're going to, but I mean, if they want to, I'm not going to tell them definitely don't, but let them judge it for themselves.
Your mom will probably like it.
Yeah.
Seems like a mom thing to like.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, and they, you might want to check it out briefly. They spruced it up. They put some, which tells me Disney recognized the fact that it was an important show too.
So maybe I'll sit there and and then jump out if it's
jump out and go on Everest.
Yeah.
Ring some bells.
Mm-hmm.
How about now? I'm just gonna spitfire a little bit. Like, so Pandora. Like, obviously, you done Flight? You haven't done Flight of Passage.
No, we could only.
I'm just gonna mention this briefly.
We could only get the river one last time.
Okay, so you'll see.
But I have 2 fast passes this trip. So
this thing is to the 9s. So I don't really want to talk about it too much because it's kind of more of like a black horse type of dark horse type of topic where it's like the ones that most people don't think about. This is a queue that people would obviously probably rank number 1 right now. You get the Avatar in the tank. You got the theming begins like right at the beginning of the queue, which is normal except for the fact that the queue is so long. Mm-hmm. That you think like, man, they really put some time into this one. Like you can probably do an hour and 20-minute wait, and then those hour and 20 minutes be in some kind of themed area, like all the way through. And there's like different theming as you go along. Like it's the nature part of Pandora, then into like the almost like the facility, and then to the lab, and then into the place where you do everything. And the one gripe I have with that queue is like, and I get they have to have all these pre-shows because of the way the loading system works. But man, do they ever have some pre-shows? Like even when you like. We went after hours and we could literally walk right up.
Mm-hmm.
It was like still 15, 20 minutes before the ride started. By the time like you stood on your number, they did the fake thing where they like you get pesticides, you get pests all over you. They gotta get it off of you, and then they went to the next room and they explained this and they explained that, and that can be almost annoying, in some regard. I guess when you first experience it, it's good. Because it's all part of the show. But then when you want to just get on, it's like when you go even with Dinosaur, like that pre-show. Like,
Yeah,
you
right.
get on easily, like, okay, let's go. Well,
Yeah.
you got to control crowds. I guess it's better than just standing there, because that's what you would do if that wasn't going on, I suppose.
Yeah.
But anyway, another queue that I like a lot, and that, kind of, this is like wishy-washy because I guess you consider the queue the outside part, but I kind of consider the queue like the outside and the inside all the way till you get on the ride vehicle, and that is Haunted Mansion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would.
Because
Yeah,
you
I'd
talk
say the
about
same
just
thing.
looking at things. If you're into that,
Oh
man,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
not just the ride. I mean, you can look to your left and just see like the boat going by. When you're first outside, just take everything in that's going on.
Yeah.
And then as you get deeper into the queue, you got the interactive features.
Yep.
I love the tombstones, the little rhymes on them and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then just I don't know, Haunted Mansion's by far and away my favorite attraction at Walt Disney World or any Disney park. So there's that. But
You gotta you gotta try to find the ring too. That's in the ground. And yeah.
people get so frustrated with that.
Yeah.
I see it online like I can't find it.
Yeah.
It's like someone just take a picture and post it already. Some people, I'm sure they have, but so these people can just get over it. But it's just the whole feel of that ride. It's unbelievable how like old that ride is and how it like if you told somebody that's never been to Disney World before that ride was built in like 2010, they like it wouldn't be like unbelievable,
No, I don't think no.
right?
No, they wouldn't question it. You'd say, oh, okay.
It holds up.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a few things I can see with the sky and all that silly
Yeah.
details, but overall, and I'm sure there's things they'll do down the road that will enhance it that I'm not thinking about right now. But overall, it's just they don't touch it much.
No.
They don't touch it much.
No. They do a little touch. Adds little things, but
Now the bride in the attic, that's fairly new.
yeah.
I don't know when that came into play.
No,
That's a newer.
it definitely is newer.
That's a newer touch, but just that's so subtle.
Yeah.
And it's, I just like when you walk. I get you when you first just walk in. And I like when you go on I don't really like when you go on a busier day, but when you do experience attraction on a busier day, and you are able to take everything in, like we were saying, the outside, there's a ton of detail, and then you go into the kind of the first room where they kind of shove you all in, not the stretching room, right before the stretching
Yeah.
room. Already, just the feel.
Yeah.
It gives it a scale.
Yeah, because the cast members that play in the part,
Yeah.
they won't smile at you.
Nope.
They'll just keep in that character, which throws you right into it.
And I will never forget this. This is one of my few vivid memories of Disney World when I first went when I was like 8 or 9 years old. We're gonna go in the Haunted Mansion. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't fond of the idea, but I was kind of always a good sport, so whatever. We're going. Reluctantly, I'm going, and I'm like with my uncle, my aunt, and my mom and stuff. And they get to the front door, and the door swings open, and there's a guy. And for some reason, I know he doesn't look like this. If there's a time machine, I can guarantee you he didn't really look like this. But in my mind, he looks like Tim Curry. I don't know why. And he's got the whole get up, and he just looks straight ahead, and he's like over the top of my head, but he's looking at me, but he's looking over me at the same time. And he's like, more dead bodies. And I was like, oh no, I'm so scared. And I didn't like that. But and my uncle was like shoving from behind me, and we went in. But I'll never forget that. And now to this day, I love that first moment. I always like want to see what the cast member's gonna do when they swing the door open. Some people will have a line like to say, and some people will be. They're always in character, but some people will be a little more boring than others, depending on who it is.
Yeah.
And they'll do the whole, the way they shuffle you in and all that stuff, and then into the stretching room, dead center of the room, and all that good stuff. It's all kind of like, that's a pre-show well done. Like,
Yeah, I don't think you that's like you wouldn't get bored of that pre-show. It's
No.
just you could recite every word if you, but you wouldn't get bored with that one at all.
I love it.
Yeah.
I've seen people get the tattoos of the artwork in that stretching room, and I've contemplated myself putting
Yeah.
that somewhere on my body. I love that attraction.
Yeah, I'd love to get those portraits. So like when you would walk in my front door, if I could put them all.
Oh, I'd be sick.
Up
And
above.
I'm sure you could probably.
Yeah.
Well, you can buy the artwork in the
Yeah.
the gift shop, but
Just a little
it's a
salt.
little,
Yeah.
a little on the pricier side.
Yeah.
Because you have to do it slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Get one, and then maybe you can find cheaper prints online though. I don't
Yeah.
know. I do know that as the channel grows, and at some point I get some free time to like really overdo this room we're sitting in, that I'll start to get rid of this backdrop and open the room up and start putting those types of posters and everything around. 'Cause that's my goal,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of theme this room out. But we're planning on putting it upstairs, so until that happens, I guess we'll have to wait. Anyway, we're rambling. Any more cues?
Well, you go kind of along the same lines as Haunted Mansion with Tower of Terror, which the
Oh,
cast
yeah,
members
that's a
they
good
they
one.
play right into that same type of thing.
No.
I
So
have
good.
like I don't remember exactly what the cast member said, but it was the first time I went on it. You're already nervous because it's the drop, and then that look that the cast member gives you right before, or whatever he said. I don't remember exactly what he said, but right before the doors close, and it's just like, I'm not a huge fan of heights, but it's like that. He gives you that look of like, oh, geez, I'm gonna not like this ride at all, and you kind of a little scared. But they play right into that
Yeah.
thing, and the same thing with the queue. Like that's another. You'll see something different every time. As soon as you step into the lobby, you'll see something different, and that's the same type of thing with that pre-show too. You can, at least for me, I can watch that over and over again.
Yeah.
Even that room you're in is just
Because
it's just so detailed.
it's not too dragged out too.
No.
So yeah, I feel like there's a certain whatever, I don't know what that amount of time is, but there's a certain amount of time you do a pre-show and it's like it works.
Mhm.
And then if it
Yeah.
goes a little too long, you just kind of like, okay, I want to ride this ride now.
Yeah.
But no, let's talk about Tower of Terror for a minute. It's almost like the sister ride of Haunted Mansion, if you think about it. It's got
Yeah.
a very similar. Obviously, they're both eerie anyway, but they
Mhm.
have a very similar feel. And it's almost like when you go into that lobby at the Haunted Mansion, you almost want the queue to be longer.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like you go into the, for the boiler room or whatever, that before you get on the elevator. And that's themed out all well and good, but you almost wish you just went for the elevator directly from like the lobby was just bigger and
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah. I kind of wish instead of when you're walking and I wish it kind of maybe jutted the line jutted in, so you kind of get you
Yeah.
actually go into the lobby and see a little more.
Because they wasted space there, like for a queue. They could have definitely done that. A couple
Yeah.
of there's a name for that style of queue. I can't think of what it's called right now. Where it's like a back and forth. I don't know what to call it, a back and forth.
Switchbacks, is that what it's
Switchback,
called?
yeah,
Yeah.
switchback. There you go. And so yeah, you could put a little switchback in there and kind of drag that out a little bit longer.
Yeah, and even the outside, like when you're walking, like you really think that the water feature fountain was like it's a fountain that's deteriorated, but they just made it look like that. Just the detail of that, I don't think it ever worked, but it just how it looks like it's just
It may have worked, Johnny, way back when.
maybe
In
yeah
Hollywood.
yeah back on that Halloween night.
Yeah, that's an awesome queue.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. Matter of fact, now I'm thinking about it, the last two we just spoke of are probably my two favorites.
Mhm.
So I guess I kind of just have that. I like that eeriness about it. I like the merch too that go with those rides. So everything
yeah.
about them.
Yeah.
I mean, it just lends to me liking that queue.
Yep.
So as we're running out of time here, real quick, we talked about Astro Orbiters. Anything just spitfiring? It has a cue. You just think it's so blah.
Maybe like a small world. I mean, you get the. Just because you get the little bit of outside, and then once it's not for me, it's the nothing to. It's nothing interesting really to look at, and then you see the boats getting loaded, and it's just like you feel like, at least I feel like you're just standing there forever, and it's just. I mean, it looks nice, but it's not something that keeps my interest in looking at.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that one, or
because you're not pumped about the ride either, which is
no.
I think is what we're kind of discovering as we talk about these.
Or even like a rock and roller coaster.
Ugh.
It's pretty boring, and even like that's a pre-show that's you look at it, and it's like, if you know Aerosmith, it's like they that's not Aerosmith, that they don't look like that, and it's just that updated part of it. But even just before you get there, there's nothing.
A lot of Disney insiders feel like D20 they're going to announce an Aerosmith change at D23.
I hope so.
As we spoke in the last 2 podcasts, we're hoping to get that.
Mm-hmm.
So knock on wood there. I'm going to agree with you on that. It's a Small World. The thing about It's a Small World, you look at the Disneyland version, and that's the thing about it. So Magic Kingdom has more space than Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Why, if you're going to clone that ride and recreate it, you need to have that Mary Blair artwork. It needs to be out and about. That's the kind of like the nice feel of it. It kind of adds to the whole experience, I think. And because it's so condensed in there, and they tried to squeeze it in, it wasn't even originally like it is now. They later on decided to squeeze somewhat of what the facade looked like in there, and it looks okay. Nothing Disney looks bad, I would say, but
No, but that one's like those back and forth seem really long too. It's like
even though they're loading like huge boats, it does seem to take a while. Then again, when the ride ends, you do seem to get stuck for a minute before you even get out of it. So that probably has something to do with it. But I was gonna say the one I don't care much for is what they've done with Slinky Dog. I just think at this point in Disney history, a new popular attraction ought not to be the queue ought not be outside as much as that one is.
Yeah.
Like Tim Tracker's there the other day, and he's saying, pro tip, if it's a 110-minute wait or something like that, you might want to check the weather, because if it starts to pour and you get out of line, you don't no way to get your spot. And I think to myself, well, that's an issue in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get in that line of what literally could be blue skies, and then you're halfway through it, and all of a sudden there's the worst storm you've ever seen in your life. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. And I mean, when you get closer to the attraction, there are some cool like theming elements, but I would say overall, I'm all set with that queue. Like if I can fast pass that, that's what I'm doing.
Yes, yeah.
I have no, and you'll see when you go.
I didn't get to, because it wasn't open the last time I was there, and we unfortunately didn't get a fast pass for this one, but I'm gonna be looking for one.
Oh, Pound Yap, Johnny.
Yeah, the last 2 days we're there. We're gonna definitely try that out.
Any questions? Let me know. Lastly, because I feel like when I say this, you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, we just didn't think of it," but we have brought it up in previous shows. One of the best queues in all of the Walt Disney World, Star Tours.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep.
That is a very pleasurable queue to experience every time you go. And I'm sure that like Galaxy's Edge might trump it or something, but I don't know. But I don't know. Like I feel like Star Tours captures like the feel of the original trilogy. Like,
I think it's gonna be. It's more of it looks like it has more fun elements.
Yeah.
The Galaxy's Edge I think is gonna be great looking and all that, but I think it's taken more of a serious thing. At least that with the Star Tours, you get the droids that are,
That's a good point. I agree with that.
The one scanning the
So
the luggage and stuff, so you get a little more humor out of everything in that one, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like the droids are always a humorous thing in Star Wars, and so that is incorporated a lot in there, so it gives you that.
Yeah.
Feel. I heard a lot of complaints, not complaints, but one like, people doing pros and cons with Galaxy's Edge. One con was like a real big Star Wars fan brought up. I was watching. I can't remember the name of the channel. I wish I could. he was saying the one thing about it is they kind of picked a weird time period for all this to take place in. He's like, I know they're kind of trying to do their own thing and all that stuff. He's like, but if you really wanted to make it like Harry Potter's a huge hit, and this will be a huge hit. Let's make no mistake about that. But he's like, if you would have placed this in the original trilogy time frame, where you're going in there and seeing Vader and Luke, and maybe there's a ride themed around, I don't know, the speeders through Endor or something, whatever. That was a rumor for a long time. Then I think people would have really jumped on it more.
Yeah.
But as I think what Disney's banking on as time goes on, their trilogy is going to be like Jack and James, Arya. They're gonna. Did I say Jack and James? John and James. Sorry. Although Jack is another name for John.
Yeah. You're fine.
They'll know these movies.
Yeah.
Growing up. I mean, of course, you'll influence them by showing them the older ones, but this will be their thing.
Yeah.
By the time they're 18, there'll probably be a zillion of them.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense going forward with that. But I don't know. I think, back to the original point, that Star Tours, that's a timeless queue, and probably one of my top 5 to stand in.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Get a lot of AC too.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're in there for a bit.
Anything with AC is adds like.
You're
makes
about to find that out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you go in August. I mean, I was in June. It was sweltering, so August will be the same.
Yeah.
But they do a good job of making there's plenty of places to get comfortable real quick.
Oh,
if you need
yeah,
to.
I mean,
you always dip into a store, or it's not like you have to walk these long stretches. Even when you're in World Showcase, which is like the most wasted space in all of parks, you can. There's plenty of places to just duck out. So.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I hate the cold, so I won't complain about the heat.
No, I do too. I love the heat.
And I'm outside all day as it is anyway, so I'm used to it. I'll just have to listen to other people complain.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat because you know what I do for a living.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
Todd is holy. You know what there too. So anyway, that's it for this week's show. This man right here will be gone for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to try to do some collabs with a guest host from a different state, a different channel. So stay tuned for that, and then we'll have Johnny back when he's back and talk about his trip. That'll be the next topic. So there's your topic for next time, Johnny. And we will
I'll take extensive notes.
Easy enough, and we will get closer to getting some of those shows and videos I talked about out for you. And I think what we'll do is we'll probably pre-film some of these shows. Like instead of doing it on a weekly basis, we'll probably do 3 or 4 or 5. Get them a little archive there, and then start releasing them. So plus we got to get like kind of a feel for how we're gonna do these things because we've never done a show like this. So it might take a little practice. So bear with us on that, but keep an eye out. And once again, 200 subscribers. That's awesome. Thanks for the support. Last week's podcast getting a ton of views too. Thanks again. We really appreciate that. Let us know in the comments below if it's because Johnny had a tank top on. If that's why you guys are watching it. I'm just curious. We were talking about it earlier.
Could be.
Could be. If it is, I mean, I'm sorry, ladies, but he is married.
All that workout's been paying off, I guess.
But anyway, guys, have a magical rest of your week, and we will see you next week. Well, I will see you next week.